What if I don't want to?
I like that. No. Fuck them.
Exactly.
They
don't deserve to know. You are listening to Rent Free in My Head, the podcast where we take whatever is squatting in our brains and help set it up with residence in yours, free of charge. Each week, Kirstyn hurts me by telling me just an awful tale of awful things that happened to other people that, I mean, at least it didn't happen to me, but is still pretty bad.
Okay, but I feel like you're more annoying because your stories don't have resolution. They are mystery. They're unsolved mysteries most of the time.
All of the time.
Yeah, look,
do I
give you the benefit of the doubt? I was like, surely one of them was low-key solved. But then I was like, no.
Do I get a name?
Oh, fuck! Yeah, you're Jeramie.
Okay, cool. Good to know. So those of you who listened to last week's episode may recall us mentioning that we were doing a double, and we were pretty drunk at the end of that episode, as you may have heard in our voices, and you're probably wondering why all of a sudden we sound very not drunk.
Sober as a cat.
We did a thing. So we did technically do the second episode. We just didn't press record. So, I sat down to edit the episode, ready to go, and I'm like, where are the files? I know that you told me a story and I told you a story. Nowhere to be found. Neither of us pressed record. Good news is, we were also both kind of drunk, so I remember, like, literally just the headline of your case, and that's it.
I don't know if I remember any of yours, to be honest with you. Like, I'm trying to think, and I got nothing.
All right. So we're in the clear. It's also been a week, so that also works in our favor.
Oh, yeah,
Just real quick before we jump into catching up on the week that was, we should probably acknowledge the day that is. So or the month that is. I don't know. So, yeah, the day that this comes out is the start of Pride, which, yay, but also let's see what new ways companies find to capitalize on us this year.
Oh my god.
Let's see, last year we had rainbow mouthwash.
Ew, did we?
Well, it was literally just normal Listerine with, like, a rainbow on the label.
Oh, that's boring.
There's always something, but...
But I like how they just slap a rainbow on it, and then they're like, it's Pride! And I'm like, it's a rainbow!
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really going to be into Pride, I feel like you would sell, like, different products with, like, the different flags on them, so you could, like, collect all the Pride flags. Like, you have, like, the trans flag, the pan flag, the gay flag, the lesbo flag, the bi flag, the asexual flag, I can't think of another fucking flag. Other flags that I can't think of right now. And then you could, like, collect them all. Like, that would be kind of cute. I think I would vibe that.
Still also kind of capitalizing on it, though.
Yeah, but Jeramie, we're in a capitalistic world.
We shouldn't be, but
Get them
let's
games.
just table that. Another important day that should probably be addressed as well. At the time of recording, yesterday was your birthday.
Yes!
Happy birthday!
Thank you. It was pretty good, you know? I don't really feel any different, but didn't expect to.
You look about 10 years older. That could
wow.
just be the sunburn, though. Your skin's a little leathery.
So bad. I like that it's just like a kind of like a perfect little arch, though. I think it's kind of cute.
Did you have a good birthday?
I
And a good week in general
did.
while we're at it?
It was a pretty good week. I went axe throwing for my birthday, let out a lot of rage, If I really wanted to get on target, I would just imagine certain people's faces, which was very entertaining for me. Plus, watching people I know try and throw axes was also very entertaining because
Yep, I think, was it Courtney that I saw a snap of throwing one,
story?
and it just kind of and it just kind of bounced right back off the wall.
Yep. Cindy almost got hit twice from rebound ones, which
I'm surprised she didn't just automatically walk in the path of one, to be honest.
My dad called me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, we're axe throwing." And he's like, "Has anyone gotten hurt yet?" And I was like, "I like that you said yet, but no."
Well, yeah, he's met Cindy.
That's better. But no one got hurt.
That's something.
So.
My gift to you was that it's your one day of the year that I'm nice to you,
Yeah,
which
so you
is
said
why
happy birthday and then just didn't talk to me for the rest of the day.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I was shocked today when I got a message that was like, "I hope you have a good day at work." I was like, I almost messaged back, "Are you feeling okay, buddy? Like, my birthday's over."
Give it just a little bit of residual niceness. It wore off pretty quickly after that. It's fine.
So that was like the last little dregs of it.
Yeah.
But how was your day yesterday? You went and saw Bob's Burgers. Was it everything you hoped it would be?
And more.
Yay!
So it was amazing. It was quite an interesting week, actually. So on Wednesday, I went to Mateo's and he got outed, or busted, I should say. So for a month now, I have been going on about about the Bob's Burgers movie coming out, and everything has been Bob's Burgers this, Bob's Burgers that. It's all that's been on my mind, and he keeps scrunching his face up and being like, "Ugh." And then last weekend, we were hanging out. Reese and I watched a couple of episodes, and then he left halfway through an episode. Wednesday, I get to his and turn on his TV and open Disney Plus just to throw it on. And guess what's sitting as his most recently played show? Bob's Burgers. So I turned to him and I'm like, "What's this, mate? I have never watched that here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I put it on because I left halfway through an episode and I wanted to know how it ended." Okay, what about the other 10 episodes that followed that? Because that was 10 episodes ago. And he's like, "Oh, I was enjoying it. It was okay."
I like that.
Still refused to come to the movie with me, so I was like, whatever, that's fine. But yeah, Reese and I went together, and unfortunately, Friday, I woke up. So throughout the week, I had what I thought on Wednesday and Thursday was a migraine. Woke up on Friday to find out, no, it was actually a sinus infection, and one side of my face was big and puffy. So I am actually going to be riding the sober train tonight. I'm on antibiotics. Sorry guys, I may be a little bit flat tonight, but it's fine.
Understandable though. I feel like you've got like a pretty good excuse.
Yeah. But yeah, so last night, Reese and I went and saw Bob's Burgers, the movie. It was amazing. I loved it. His complaint was, he was like, "It was cool, there was too much music." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? There could have been more songs. You knew what you were getting in for." May or may not already be singing 2 of them on a loop, just to add to the others that are already stuck in there. So at any given moment, I'm going to start screaming out the Kill the Turkey or the fart song. Literally, I'm standing at work all the time and I'm just like, fart, 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 fart.
That's the video you sent me, isn't it?
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
It's that gas from your ass, it's the toot from your boot, it's the hum in your bum, it's the loot in your shoot, it's all that air from your derriere.
Thank you.
This is what it's like inside my head at all times.
I think you should...
Maybe I don't need wine to do this episode. I should be fine.
Yeah. People will see what you're like without alcohol. So this is what I have to deal with at work, guys.
Pretty much. But yeah, then we finished the movie and had burgers for dinner because, well, obviously.
It's also International Burger Day yesterday, so...
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was perfect timing.
Ironically enough, I had a hot dog for lunch, though.
I mean, a burger is basically a sanga and a hot dog fits in the sanga family, so...
Does it, though?
Yeah, it's one food in between in between bread.
But the bread doesn't fully separate.
Yeah, but it doesn't if you have, like, on a bread roll either. Not always.
Yeah, that's a bread roll. That's a roll, not a sandwich.
Yeah, but then when you put stuff in it, it's still a sanga.
No, it's a roll.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is. A sandwich is food between two pieces of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sandwich bread, like toast. Not just through any type of bread. It's like a bun. It's a bun. A roll is a roll.
So if you were to put, I don't know, some ham and cheese on some Turkish bread, would that not be a sanga nonetheless?
It's Turkish bread.
Yes, and
Turkish
a bread roll is a bread roll.
But roll is the end. So then it's a roll.
It's still bread.
No, but it's a roll.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss the logistics of bread and sandwiches.
This is clearly what they came to listen to.
Anyway, went on a tangent there, sorry. Yes, after burgers, we went to Botanica in the Botanical Gardens, which was like this cute little...
I saw that on Reese's story. It was so pretty.
Mateo decided to tag along despite me already establishing with him 2 weeks ago that he would not enjoy it because he doesn't like art exhibits. And it's literally an interactive art exhibit utilizing light and nature. And the whole time he's just standing there and he's like, I don't get it. It's lights. But there was this one spot that was so cool. It was like they had this little walkthrough that was set with black lights and it was like glowing fungus mushrooms growing off trees. That's what it looks like from a distance. And then you get closer and you realize...
Like crocheted?
Yeah, they've crocheted
it was on
these...
your story, wasn't it?
Yeah, they crocheted these mushroom like fungus and stuff hanging off of these trees out of fluorescent green wool and then put a black light on it and it just was breathtaking. After we'd looked at everything, I made them go back with me to look at it again because I was like, this is so cool.
I love that so much.
That was my Saturday. It was kind of like a cute little fun day.
That sounds adorable. I love it when people will see me having a conversation with my mum on the phone or something. And I'll be like, oh, what the fuck, bitch? Or like something like that. Like, I'll talk to my mum normally. And then they'll be like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, my mum. And they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is how I talk to my mum. I don't know how the fuck you talk to your mum, but like, this is fine.
You know, that's the same way you talk on the air.
No, literally. I was like, I don't change the way I speak, guys.
No. You're you, and it's just the way you are. And I mean, it works in this case because we've had feedback that people love that you just call everyone bitches. And that you mean it as like a term of endearment.
That's because like 90% of the time it is a term of endearment. Anyway, speaking of bitches.
How are you going to hurt me today?
I'm not going to hurt you. My story to weave today is fucking funny.
I do remember that the headline was breathtaking.
I'm very excited.
Alrighty.
So, but I will warn you, it was very short because I struggled so hard to find more information on it, and I was low-key very sad about it. So I did something else to beef it up a little bit for you.
Alrighty.
But
I love when we beef up our notes, especially because it's happened, I think, twice now. It didn't happen when you covered the Goldie boy, but it's happened twice now where one of us has been like, I didn't find much, so I've done something to beef up my notes, and then it's ended up being really long because we've gone too far in the beefing up.
When I was doing it, I did a small beef because I was like, you know what, this is so funny that Jeramie and I are just going to talk about it, so it doesn't even matter that I don't have much information because we're going to talk. See, I used my noggin.
Us talk? That doesn't sound right. We hate doing that.
No, of course we do. Never do it.
No, I never want to talk.
But anyway, we're going to Brazil.
Ooh.
Specifically. I apparently don't know how to say that word anymore. Specifically. There we go. Specifically.
Is there any word you do know how to say?
My name. Oh, no, actually, I've said my name wrong before as well, which is really embarrassing because it's my name.
Yes.
You know, one time
it's
when
not
I was
surprising.
writing my name, I forgot the S. I legitimately
that is fair.
just forgot the S in my own fucking name, and I was like, what is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, one year for Mother's Day, I took my mum to see her favourite acoustic singer and upgraded our tickets to meet and greet so that she could meet him as well. And included in the meet and greet was that if you could bring 2 items for him to sign. And so she took 2 of his albums. He asked her what her name was and to spell it, and she started spelling it, and she misspelled it and had to stop him and be like, wait, no, sorry, and fix it. She was unbearable that whole night because she kept being like, I met him. Did you know I met him? And she still does it to this day. This was 5 years ago. I'll just randomly get a text from her being like, remember that time when I met Joshua Radin? And I'm like, yes, Mum. I do remember that time I was there. And she jokes all the time because on one, he signed it XOXO, and then on the other, he just wrote XO. And she's like, he got sick of me by the time he got to the second album.
My God, I love your mum though. She's so precious.
She's adorable.
She's so cute. But anyway, so specifically, São José do Rio Preto, which is a municipality. I fucked that up so bad, but I'm gonna roll with it. In this
municipality.
There we go. In the state of Sao Paulo. The literal translation of this town is St. Joseph of the Black River. I don't know why, but apparently St. Joseph was from that Black River. Got a town named after him. Woo for St. Joseph!
What is he the saint of? No, there's a different person that's the patron saint of pooping. I just don't remember who he was.
It just says St. Joseph of the Black River.
Saint?
How do you know he's a saint or anything? Maybe he was just a really good guy.
Well, isn't that... That's why they get called saint, though, isn't it? Because they become the saint of... He's the patron saint of universal church, families, fathers, expectant mothers, travellers, immigrants, house sellers and buyers, craftsmen, engineers, and working people, among others.
Okay. I feel like that low-key makes my story funnier. Because the reason we're going to this town is... I'm just prefacing that I literally just saw a post about this on Instagram from this random Instagram page I follow that is fun facts or something. And it was literally just a picture of some legs. And it was Brazilian woman poisons husband through her vagina. And I was like, what the fuck?
Intentionally or...
Yeah, okay, see, that was my thing. I was like, did she, shove some poison up her hoo-ha? Did she, accidentally get, some kind of really bad yeast infection? And then, I don't know, like, grew some kind of bacteria and she accidentally poisoned in that way.
Was he just, like, allergic to the poon?
See, so many possibilities. So I was like, I have to cover this. I have to. Like, I don't care what it is. I have to cover this. So I Googled it. And there really wasn't much information. So she was never named. Neither was her husband.
Okay.
But I know that it happened in 2013 in Sao Jose do Rio Preto. And apparently this is the story, okay? So, Bestie really wanted to divorce her 43-year-old husband. And she was like, can we have a divorce? And he was like, no, I don't want to divorce you. Fuck. Ooh, where's my microphone? I'm so sorry. He was like, no, get fucked. I don't want to divorce you. And apparently, like, that's the thing you can do. Like, you can just say no. And then the other person has to, like, go to court and be like, I really want to divorce this fucker, but they said no. So, like, can you make them divorce me?
Well, yeah, if they don't sign the papers or anything.
Yeah. And it's like,
then you're, like, it reaches I don't know about other countries, but, like, it reaches the point in Australia where you have to serve them and
like,
make it happen, in which case you have to spend a lot of money to do it. And
spend a lot of money, like, on court fees, lawyer.
We know someone that's literally going through that whole situation.
We do? Who? Oh! Anyway. So, she was like, I don't really have the money to do that. Like, that's just, like, not a vibe. So she was like, light bulb moment. I know what to do. I'm gonna kill him. And apparently...
Always a good strategy.
Apparently the best way that she thought that this would happen, and she took some inspiration from Poison Ivy and Kissing Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Kissing Kate is?
Is that... Hang on. Peach Farms and... Is that, like, the chick from Holes?
Yes!
Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Why did my brain just immediately go Kissing Kate? Peach Farms.
I think... Is it a peach?
I'm pretty sure there's, like, a peach...
Isn't it? At the top? It's onions. But they taste really sweet.
Like a peach.
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't know, but yeah, when I read this story, I
was
like, what is that bitch from fucking Holes with the lipstick, the poison? You know, it's on her lips, winky face.
Wrong set of lips by the sounds of it.
But either way, this bitch clearly was like, these motherfuckers are doing it right. So rather than poison his drink or his food or like put it in his body wash or I don't know, fucking shampoo or some shit. I don't really know how many ways you can poison someone. Or like...
Lots.
What's this? Needle. I was doing the hand movement, you know, like you hold it between your two fingers and you zip it down.
Yep, that's...
It made sense. Anyway, she decided the best option was to lace her vagina with poison. I'm a bit fuzzy.
Inside, outside, because I'm a bit concerned that, like, isn't that putting yourself at risk of, like, absorbing it? Like, what if she poisoned herself through her hoo?
Yeah.
Like...
So, it wasn't super clear on how she did it, but I'm assuming she put it, like, on the inside of her flaps, and didn't really realise that soup's absorbent down there. So, you know, what she does is she lures her little hubby into the bedroom for some time. She got him in there, and then him being a dude, was down to go down on her. Thank you. Apparently, as he's, like, getting down there, he's like, this kind of smells a bit, it's a bit, smells a bit.
Girl, did you bathe this week?
he was concerned for her health because her vagina smelled really bad. But also he apparently was low-key suspicious that her vagina smelled bad, which makes me think, like, has she previously tried to kill him, or...
I was about to say what a gentleman, but then it came down to just he was worried for his own safety and like
let's be honest, that's probably
typical
just what
man.
it was. He was probably like, oh my god, yeah, I'll go down on you, and then he got down there and he's like, ew, what does that smell? Like, what if I catch something from it? Fuck her being sick. What if I catch something from it?
I don't want to taste whatever's making that smell.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I don't think anyone would because it was poison.
What kind of poison though? Do we know?
It doesn't say, and I was like, why would you not tell me the details?
Yeah, because that does like make it even more like some yes you can't, some or you can only be like poisoned by ingesting it, whereas some it could absorb through the skin.
Well,
so I'm like,
she was rushed to the hospital, and it was at the hospital that she admitted to plotting to her husband's death. So like she's gone in there, they've been like, bestie, like, fuck me, what's going on? And she's like, was trying to kill my hubby, so like I put some vagina poison. I put some vagina poison on. And then like through like tests that the hospital did, it was revealed that she had enough poison inside her to not only kill herself, but also like him.
yeah.
So she had enough poison in her system to kill the pair of them, which I don't think was her intended goal. I'm pretty sure it was just to get rid of him.
That's a very strange way to commit murder-suicide.
Low-key pretty badass, though. Like, go out on a happy note. Unless you, like, really sucks at head. Like, that would be too depressing.
Mm.
But yeah, she survived, she seems fine, he survived, he seems fine, and apparently he, planned to sue her for attempted murder. Which, oh, and he gave her the divorce, so.
Well, there you go, she got what she wanted.
But now she's possibly, being sued for attempted murder. And he decided to keep his name out of the press, because I think he was low-key embarrassed that his wife tried to kill him through her vagina.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't go down very well.
That was beautiful.
It was some cunning linguistic skills.
Actually, that was literally my next sentence. My favourite part about this whole thing is that the title to the article was Cunning Cunnilingus. And I was like,
there you go. So they have some cunning linguistic skills too.
I really appreciated that article. But unfortunately, that's all I could find about that. So I was low-key sad. So then I was like, I wonder if this is the only bitch to ever do this.
So, yeah, my question is, aside from the flaps, where's the beef? What was the term for vagina that I taught you that became like your new favorite one?
Axe wound, which is so much funnier considering I went axe throwing on the
Oh, I love that.
I really wish I had taken an inappropriate photo with my axe for you.
You should have. I didn't even think of it until like just then when you said it.
No, I think I thought about it on Friday. I was like, oh my god, I will have an axe tomorrow. I need to take a stupid photo to make an axe wound joke to Jeramie. And then I'm so mad I forgot.
Right. Well, you're just gonna have to go again.
What a shame.
Darn.
It's actually like so much fun. They do a league, and Courtney and I are low-key thinking about doing it. Because, like, I could get really fucking good at axe throwing.
That's fair. Just picturing a few faces.
I actually, told, Flower Girl to picture certain people that we work with when we were there. And I was like, yeah. And then she actually got a bullseye after I told her to picture a particular person.
It was me, wasn't it?
Surprisingly not. But it's someone you'll see tomorrow.
That'll be you.
Fuck you. Why would you picture me? I'm the greatest person ever. I'm kidding. No. I like how both of us did the exact same face. Like,
Yeah, no, that's not... no.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Don't worry, I don't think I'm the greatest person ever. So, these bitches, though, are, like, low-key the greatest people ever. So, I Googled it, and I was like, surely someone else has done something similar, or has anyone done it since? So, the original one, the Brazilian one, was in 2013. And then I found this article that was, like, 15 women who poisoned their husbands. And I was like, what a fat mood. We've all been there. And so in 2018...
I was there already earlier this week.
In 2018, a anonymous woman from Nigeria, a Ghanaian woman, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, she wrote into this, he was like a relationship counselor where you could like write into him, so kind of like I don't know, like Dear Abby or whatever the fuck it is.
Did she claim to be a prince?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she didn't. She claimed something so much cooler. So sort of relationship counselor David Papa Bonds Beer. The last name is kind of weird because it's M-B-I-R. So I'm like, do I pronounce the M or do I pronounce the B?
I would assume it would be a silent M.
That's what I thought. So it would be Burr. So it would be David Papa Bonze Burr. Because the Bonds is B-O-N-D-Z-E. So it's like, that's how you spell bronze without the D.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no D in bronze.
I know, but like... So I'm like, is it Bonds? Bund? Or is it Bonzi? It's not super important. I just like to be respectful to people's names. Anyway, so...
Why start now?
Wow, I'm super respectful of people's names. I attempt to pronounce them. I'm just really white that I mostly get them wrong.
That's fair.
But I accept it. I accept that I'm trash.
Well, to be fair, at the moment you're not white. You're like multiple shades of pink and red. Where did you go for your birthday? The sun?
No, this happened today. I went to the markets this morning.
What?
And I forgot to put sunscreen on, which is stupid because I'm a fucking ginger.
Yeah.
I realised once I got to the markets and I had already gotten out of my car, and then I really just wish that the fucking markets would have free sunscreen. Like, we live in a very sunny state.
Yes.
Come on!
Some would even say, the Sunshine State.
Exactly, and you think that they would have free sunscreen at public events. I'm just saying. You think you care about your people, but apparently you don't give a shit if they get sun cancer. Skin cancer, not sun cancer. You knew what I meant. Moving on. So anyway, she wrote a letter to good old David Papa. And she confessed that she had killed her first husband after she found out he cheated on her while she was 7 months pregnant.
Okay, that's valid, and apparently Squid agrees.
Yeah, Squid does agree. See?
Yeah.
You know, 3 against 1.
Yeah, there you go.
I also have a quote to read from you, and it's low-key just like, I'm with this woman. Like, she's low-key my hero. So it goes. I mixed a deadly, colourless, tasteless, odourless substance with my lotion.
Water!
I do think it's water.
Well, why not? It's colourless, it's tasteless, it's
not
odourless.
Poisonous. Also, water has a taste.
It could be poisonous if you put poison in it.
Water has a taste.
It doesn't.
It does. Tap water tastes different to tank water, and then they taste different when they're cold, and then when they're hot, and then when they're room temperature. Do you even drink water? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What is in my hand right now? Yes, I take water.
Also, bottled water tastes different. Like, Coolridge water tastes different to pump water. And it tastes different to the water you have at home.
Doesn't mean... Water doesn't taste like anything, though. Describe the taste of water other than saying it tastes like lettuce, because lettuce tastes like water.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that a lot of
Lettuce
lettuce
is just
how
like
it tastes.
crunchy water.
I feel like you could say that about cucumber as well.
No, cucumber does have a taste.
I
But
don't really think this matters.
But lettuce lettuce is literally just crunchy water. See, maybe this is why I need to be drunk for these episodes, because I'm sitting here going, "Oh, look, we don't need to drink. We've still got some good banter and some jokes going." No, you're stuck with what it's like inside my head at all hours, which is question everything. That's why I drink.
Are you ready for me to continue my quote?
Yes, so it's not water, that's what you're saying.
No.
Okay.
It's a deadly, colourless, tasteless, odorless substance. That's not water. With my lotion, smeared it gently on my breast, rubbed it on my vagina, put some on my lips, both sets. I coated...
Which did she do first, though? Did she go vag to lips? Did she go vag to mouth or mouth to vag?
By the way she's done it, she's like started at her tits and then gone down and then back up to her mouth. But this is also like, just like listen, because this is fucking hilarious. I coated every part of my body I knew he enjoyed putting his mouth and tongue on, and watched him swallow every bit of his own saliva mixed with the substance. ... Your fucking face.
That's yucky!
Everybody, including his family, all think he died from an acute liver problem. And then she goes on to say, I'm cheating on my current husband because I don't want to lose another man in a marriage, so I would rather want to cheat on him too, as a form of closure, in order not to lose my mind.
I don't even know what to say.
But like, this bitch wasn't caught. So she's out there.
And she
got away
willingly
with it.
giving out this information.
Well, she put it into an anonymous, like, relationship advice person. I think she just needed to get it off her fucking chest that she murdered someone and then... because he cheated on her and now she's cheating on her new husband.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
You guess?
Like, I'd be keeping that secret and taking it to my grave. I wouldn't be sending it to anyone.
Dude. Especially if everyone thinks that he had died from a liver problem. Like, she fucking got away with murder. She doesn't even need to watch that show. She write it.
Reese sent me the 9 News thing yesterday on Instagram about the woman who wrote the book How to Murder Your Husband, the fact that she was found guilty of killing her husband. And he's like...
Or she didn't write How to Get Away with Killing Your
That's
Husband.
literally what I responded with. He's like,
He's
like, lol, what did she expect? And I'm like, well, to be fair, she didn't write the book How to Murder Your Husband and get away with it.
She just wrote How to Kill Your Husband? Fuck.
So, you know.
I love that she wrote, is it like a guide on how to kill your husband?
I don't know. She was like some old woman. I don't know if it was a book or a blog, but like, How to Murder Your Husband, writer guilty of murdering husband.
Mood. I like the vibe.
She fatally shot him 4 years ago.
Wasn't even that creative.
She's 71 years old.
She killed him as an old lady? What a boss-ass bitch.
You've just gone from she's not even that creative to what a boss-ass bitch, because she's old.
Okay, look, I hate old people, but...
I am aware.
They just irritate me so much.
Listeners are aware from when you just randomly declared it in the middle of an episode.
Ironically, though, I was listening to an episode of a podcast and they were like, oh, everyone's so mean to old people and they don't care about them, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Can we move on from the fucking old people? I'm one of those people that doesn't care.
What do we wanna do? Fart, fart! Open up your butt cheeks. This is how your butt speaks!
I join in, but I don't know the words.
That's fair.
Gas.
Mateo's concerned that I do know the words.
I'm not.
So was that
That's
everything? Okay.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
I said it was short, but it was fucking interesting.
No, I just wasn't sure if you had more poisonous women to tell me about.
I mean, I could tell you about these 15 women, but I really just focused on the ones who had poisoned their vaginas.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, I mean, the last lady in the article is kind of badass as well. Like, apparently this one happened in 2019, and it doesn't say how she poisoned him, but she poisoned him after arguing over money, and then I don't know if she posted the video, but someone posted a video to Instagram where she's just, like, calmly talking to him while there's blood pouring from his mouth. And then he goes into convulsions. And she apparently sent the video to his family and told them he died of a seizure. That she caused with poison.
Yeah.
Add that bit on the end.
Literally. Just a lie of omission.
Barely alive.
Well, that was definitely an interesting one this week, I will say. I'm sure I enjoyed it last time you told me to. I just don't remember that at all.
That's fair.
I literally just remember you saying she poisoned her husband with her vagina, and I'm like,
which, like, is really important. So, like, fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I remember you saying it's all right. This one won't scare you that much because you won't have to worry about it ever happening to you. And I'm like,
yes.
Okay. And then you told me, and I'm like, you are right. That ain't gonna happen to me. Oh, I should probably find my notes.
That would help. Weirdly, that would help.
So mine, there was also not really a lot to find on this one. Most of my information came from one specific source, but I did find just a little bit of mention to it on other sites. But it is an interesting one, and it's going to give us some room for discussion. So obviously, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, I tried to go for a spoopy, ghosty story, and went with Mary Celeste, the ghost ship, which, as we all know, didn't work out quite as I intended, given that my ghost ship did not contain any ghosts. So it was more of a ghostless ship. Kind of a shipwreck, if you will. So this week, whenever I wrote these notes, a couple of weeks ago, whenever I wrote these notes, I went through my list and I picked one from the name that I didn't know much about at all, but I knew just from the name alone that it definitely met the spoopy, ghosty requirement that I was hunting, because it is the tale of a haunting. Something just activated my Google Home. Hang on.
What?
I just heard my Google Home in the other room. I'm like, okay, she's turned off.
Ghost.
Oh my god, it might have been a ghost. That was weird timing. I talk about ghosts and then all of a sudden my Google Home goes off. Cool. You were gonna say something, sorry?
I was gonna say, I remember a little bit about your case now.
Okay.
All I remember those bunk beds.
There is bunk beds, because I will be telling the story of Step Brothers and how it gives us so much more room for activities.
Is that a quote from Step Brothers?
It is.
Okay.
They build bunk beds, and they're like, look at all this room for activities.
Are ready to judge me.
Never seen it.
I feel like I possibly have seen it, but I wasn't as obsessed with it like every other fucker on the planet. So when everyone was like, "How's the brothers?"
It's probably the only thing from the movie that I actually remember and reference regularly, and that's literally only because every time I'm in an empty room or I see something to do with bunk beds, my brain is just like, so much room for activities.
It's not my vibe. Like, it's not my vibe, guys.
Well, speaking of things that aren't your vibe, I don't think they are, but I'm just gonna get some clarity. What is your stance or your take and thoughts on ghosts, demons, hauntings?
Not a big believer in them.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that shady shit happens that we can't explain. And it most likely sometimes could be the work of other forces.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not one of those people that's like, oh, a ghost did that, or like, we have to do something to the ghosts, and that kind of vibe. Do you get what I mean? I feel like I'm explaining this so badly.
We have to do something to the ghosts.
I don't know. I'm very much a I believe it when I see it kind of person. And I can't say I've ever seen something that would make me fully believe in ghosts or demons or anything like that. Like, I don't know.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we have discussed this before. I think I edited it out because our tangent got way off track.
I think it got religious, and I think that was my fault.
I don't even think it got religious. Because I remember I think it was episode 2 or 3. I think it was episode 2 because it was after the weather event. And I was talking about how during the weather event I watched all of the Conjuring movies, and I mentioned that I wasn't sure of my stance on the Warrens, what that was, and I got really we went off topic because I got really in depth about my belief that the is it the DeFeo family for the Amityville Horror? I think so. I'm pretty sure it's the DeFeos. Anyway, the family, the Amityville Horror family, that case, I stand my ground. I believe definitely a hoax that the Warrens facilitated, considering no one else that's lived in that house has had any issues, and suddenly they had a book deal and they're super profitable and blah blah blah. Like, I don't buy that one. Doesn't mean that I don't believe in ghosts, so I definitely do believe, and like some of the Warren stuff I'm like, actually yeah, but then I've also heard a lot of shady shit about the Warrens, so I'm kind of on the fence about them in particular.
I'm with you there though, because what I've read about the Warrens in real life, I don't exactly vibe with. Like, they sound like really shitty people.
Kind of like
love
snake oil salesman.
Yeah. But I do love the characters in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I love those two actors that play them.
Oh, yes.
Like, they are they're so cute, and they do it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need to know who fucking plays them. I'm obsessed with them.
I don't remember her name, but Mrs. Warren is the mother
Lorraine?
in Bates Motel. Yeah, Lorraine is the mother in Bates Motel.
I really like the actress. I'm trying to find out what their names are because I really like them.
I want to say like Vera Farmiga or something is her name.
I think it's that.
That sounds familiar.
I'm getting it up now. Yeah, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson.
There you go. Yep.
See, I love their portrayal of them.
Yes, because
And
he's
I
the
love
same guy
that.
that's in Insidious, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can confirm for you in about 3 seconds.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Let me just go to his filmography. Yes, he is. Yes. He's in all 5 of them, apparently, because the top one is Insidious 5.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss who is in what movie.
I think it's appropriate.
No, it's fair. Anyway, so yeah, that's like part of my stance on hauntings, like the big publicly known hauntings. But as far as like ghosts and spirits and demons go, I do believe there's like been some experiences within my family. My nana at one point ran a funeral home, so she's definitely had some encounters and experiences. Dad was adamant in his youth that he had seen some ghosts from the shipwreck near their house in the driveway, which, I mean, my favorite part of the story is that he saw that and he immediately ran into the house and shut and locked the door behind him and sat in the dark in a corner just like rocking until my nana got home. And then she's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I saw a ghost." And she's just like, they can walk through walls, right? And like the dark doesn't scare them.
It's so mean. Our son's like, "Oh my god, a ghost!" And she's like,
he was a
idiot,
teenager.
walk through walls.
He was a teenager.
Still, grandma is savage.
I mean, yes. So yeah, I do believe in them. I also am like quite fascinated by that stuff. Like literally at work the other day, I'm doing my thing, and someone was like, and I'm just standing there. I'm like, "Oh, interesting." And like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just learning about the history of Ouija boards." And like, "Yep, that sounds like something that you would do," and continued on as if nothing had happened.
I don't think I'd blink an eye if you said that to me.
Exactly. Actually, fun story from last weekend. Had Mateo, Reese, and a friend over for like drinking games, and we were trying to decide what to play next. And I was like, "Oh, well, there's this or that. There's like a Never Have I Ever game." And they were like, "Oh, well, if we're gonna do that, why don't we play King's Cup?" And I'm like, "I don't understand the correlation." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I've never played King's Cup." And they're like, "Okay, well then we have to play King's Cup."
Played King's Cup.
I don't know, I just never have. Well, I have now. Anyway, they set it up and they were telling me the rules and how to play, and they were just like giving me a quick rundown. They were like, "We'll go through the specifics of each card as it happens, but
yeah, that's probably the easiest
like
way.
these are the ones that you need to know in advance because you have to be quick to do it. But, you know, blah, blah, blah." And they're just like, "Oh, yeah, and you can't break the circle." And it was like, "Oh, okay, well, that changes things. I don't really need to pee, but I'm gonna go do that now anyway, just, to help myself out later." And they were like,
Just
"Oh,
'cause
okay."
it's me.
Didn't think anything of it. Like, neither of them thought that was an odd statement, even though Mateo questioned me the other week when I commented, "Oh, I'm cold, now I need to pee." He was like, "Those two thoughts don't go together." I'm like, "Homeboy, yes they do. What are you talking about?" But I come back and we're sitting down and we're playing the game and Reese gets up to get a drink. I'm like, no, you can't break the circle. And they've all paused and looked at me and they're like, "The circle of cards, Jeramie." And I'm like, "Oh." So they've said it to me meaning the circle of cards, and I've heard it thinking, "Oh, this game has seance rules."
Oh, sweetie.
But I literally thought that they were saying that the game had seance rules, which I was like, that's really fucking weird, but okay, sure.
I love it.
I also have never done a Ouija board, but I really want to.
Same.
I'm pretty sure when we were talking about this, we were talking about like making
think we were.
Ouija boards.
Yes.
Because you wanted to, like, make it all glittery, and I was just going to get a piece of
literally
paper
just
and
thinking
write
in my
letters
head.
on it.
Like, as you were like, we can make ourselves, I just envisioned, like, so much glitter. Like, my head was just, like, fucking glitter.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, give me a piece of paper, I'll write some letters on it, and I'll use, like, a wine glass or something. We're done.
If we're gonna make one, we're gonna make it cute. We're gonna make it cute. We're gonna make it cute and sparkly and pretty with unicorns. Maybe some rainbows.
Ouija, Pride Edition.
Oh my god, yes!
We need to capitalize on us.
Yes! Alright, so besties will be selling Pride Ouija boards.
If someone can just give us the information on how to make them.
I can easily Google this.
I mean, like, the supplies and, like...
How to make a... Wait, Ouija spell weird, isn't it? It's like...
Ouija.
Ouija. How to make a Ouija board at home. Thanks, Google.
I bet it's just gonna say a piece of paper and a wine glass.
Oh my god, you know what's really cute? There's actually a YouTube video that came out first, which is how to make a Ouija board at home that works. And proof. It's 5 minutes long, and it was posted in 2017. There's a template. It's just like so easy.
Is it literally just a piece of paper with
Yeah,
a pen
like,
and a wine glass?
They're like scissors, paper, a piece of cardboard or wood that is approximately 18 by 20 inches. You can make it slightly larger or smaller, but this is a good size to start with. You'll use this as your base. You need a pen, a glass, a coin or a pointer, and glue. What is the pointer? Oh, the planchette. It's like that triangle thing. Obviously, it says all heart-shaped. I think we should, like, vibe with the heart-shaped theme just to really...
Well, yeah, generally the planchette is, like, kind of heart-shaped. It's pointy, and then it comes in curves, and a lot of the times it tips inwards from what I've seen. And then I guess we just, like, paint it with rainbows and sparkles and...
Yeah, it seems pretty easy. Maybe at the bottom instead
make
of
some
saying,
money off the queers. That's what we're here for.
Maybe at the bottom, instead of having goodbye, we could have like, bye bitches! Just like that.
We'll have, hi, bye.
And instead of yes or no, yes queen! Ew, no?
Ew, David.
Ew, David. Oh my god, I really want to fucking make this right now.
Anyway, before we go any further down this rabbit hole, speaking of rabbit holes, did I ever tell you about the rabbit hole that I went down the other week instead of editing one of the episodes? With one of my international friends. We were talking about the fact that in Queensland you can't have rabbits for a pet unless you're a practicing magician.
I didn't know that there was an exemption to that rule. I thought it was just straight up.
No,
you
you have to be a practicing magician, which then led to the question. I was like, do you need a magician's license? What classes you as a practicing magician? So instead of editing the episode, I was messaging this friend in America as we both were just like frantically researching this, just to find out. I think probably spent like a good half hour on it. To be able to have a pet rabbit in Queensland, you basically need to be a magician performing with the rabbit in your act or exhibition once a month.
Does it have to be paid? Or could I just say I'm a magician and get a pet bunny?
I'm not sure. There were forms to fill out and stuff, but like, yeah. Yeah.
Queensland does consider them a pest.
Yeah. Anyway, I tried to avoid one tangent by going down a whole other tangent. That's...
Go team!
Sobriety! Woo! Alrighty. Well, I'm just gonna jump in, because I haven't been talking about random other shit for 20 minutes. Today, I will be talking to you about the demon bunk bed, also known as the Tall Man Haunting. So this tale takes place in a small town of Wisconsin called Horicon. And when I was looking up information about this town for fun facts, I know we're still in the US, it sucks. So yeah, anyway, we're still in the US, it sucks. We're going to Wisconsin. They have cheese. I like cheese.
Who doesn't?
And yeah, it's a small town called Horicon. And when I was looking up information about this town for fun facts, I found an article that was clearly meant to be used to like attract tourists, but after seeing the title of it, it has had the opposite effect on me, and I most definitely do not want to go to there. You'll fall in love with this quiet Wisconsin town that has more birds than people. No thank
Yuck.
you. No thank you. As much as I dislike people, that is far too many birds for my liking.
Ew, I just...
Nope. One bird is too many birds for my liking. So, yeah. I was like, I'll just have a look at this article, see if it mentions anything else, you know, maybe something redeeming about this town. And I reached the following. Visitors flock to the town for the chance to witness an incredible migration of Canada geese. They pass through in the spring and the fall. As many as 200,000 geese pass the town. And honestly, that sounds like a nightmare. That is more frightening than the haunting that I'm about to cover. Like, I would choose the demon bunk bed over Horicon as a whole.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Fuck you and your Canada geese. All 200,000 of them. Anyway, I was like, okay, that's enough about that town. Don't care. So I ended up going for fun facts about Wisconsin in general. And I found out that Green Bay, which I'm assuming is a town in Wisconsin. I don't know.
Is Wisconsin the one that the wine and crime gals hate?
Yes, because it's like next to Minnesota and Wisconsin don't like each other or something. I don't know. But anyway, Green Bay is apparently known as the toilet paper capital of the world, according to WisconsinHistory.org.
How does one become the toilet capital of the world?
Toilet paper capital of the world.
Sorry. Toilet paper capital of the world.
I'm not sure. It's a cool title to have, I guess. I mean, it's no Adelaide, but sure. They can have murder and you guys can have TP. That's... Whatever.
Floats your boat, tickles your pickle.
No, I was trying to think of a wiping joke. Yeah, I got nothing.
Neither.
We'll just flush that joke along with the toilet paper then, I guess. There we go.
Nailed it. You got there at the end. That's the main thing.
Look, I've probably used up all of the toilet paper in Green Bay to just wipe up the shit that was that joke. It also said that according to Wisconsin stories, Wisconsin contains more ghosts per square mile than any other state in the nation. And I don't really know how you measure that, but that's pretty cool and also kind of relevant to my case, I guess. So, sure.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So, when I first stumbled upon this and saw it was called the Tallman Haunting, I assumed it was like a Slenderman kind of situation and that they were like, you know, haunted by a tall man.
Is that not what the vibe is?
It's not the case at all. It's the surname of the family.
Oh!
They are the
That's not
Tallmans.
where I expected you to go with that.
No, I was like, oh, okay, so there's like a real tall man. No, there is not some tall man terrorizing this family.
Well, when you were like, oh, no, it's not an actual tall man, and I was like, oh, okay, so is it just a short person on stilts that terrorizes the family? Like, is that it?
So, no, there's no tall man terrorizing the family. There's no short man on stilts. There is, however, a bunk bed. And I don't know about you, but as a kid, I thought bunk beds were the coolest.
Oh,
Like,
fuck oath, dude. I
Yeah.
had bunk beds when I was younger.
so did we at Dad's place. And, like, it was like bunk beds were the coolest. And if you had the top bunk, you were the shit. And, of course, I was the eldest child, so I got the top bunk. Like,
Alright, fuck you. I don't think I ever really did. But also, when I was younger, what I really, really wanted was one of those bunk beds where it was like a bed at the top and then a desk underneath.
I mean, that's cool because, like, yeah, it gives you more room for activities.
Exactly, Jeremy.
Uh,
I don't know if they're classed as bunk beds, but when I was younger, I was like, that is the vibe. I want one of those.
The thing is, as cool as they seemed as a child, as an adult, I can't think of anything worse than like an extra step to getting into bed.
Okay, no. So the Airbnb that we stayed in, no, it was a caravan park that we stayed in for the night before my graduation because we just grabbed like a cheap room so that I didn't have to get up super early to get to an hour away where my grad was. And there was a queen bed in one room and then a set of bunk beds in another room with a single bed as well. And so Courtney and I were going to share the bunk beds and I was like, fucking shotgun top bunk because top bunk.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, it was so fucking creaky. And I was so paranoid the whole night that if I moved, I would wake up Courtney. And then anytime I wanted to get down, I had to the ladder was fucked. So I had to go to the top strung of the ladder and then just kind of yeet myself onto the single bed across from it and then get down because I just didn't fucking trust the ladder at all.
No. Well, yeah, my stance on bed bunks as an adult is like, I cannot think of anything worse than adding an extra step to getting into bed.
Oh yeah, literally.
My
favourite part about my bed is I just fucking fall into it.
You're telling me I have to climb a ladder to get into my bed? No, thank you. And then every time I have to get up and pee or get a drink in the middle of the night, and that's a lot, I have to come down the ladder and then come back up the ladder. No, that's too much work. And considering how much it hurt hitting the floor when I was pushed out of my normal bed the other weekend, I don't want to think about how that would have gone on the top bunk. I might have died. Well, yeah, if you're pushed out of the bed off the top bunk, you're gonna hit the floor with some force. It hurt coming out of my normal bed.
Gonna die though.
Maybe. But anyway, that's my stance on bunk beds.
Okay.
It's a hot take, I know. Wow, maybe I don't need to drink. I have so many hot takes to share. My brain is chaos. I hate it. Someone please end it.
Put me out of my misery.
Okay, so the year is 1987, and we are in Horicon, Wisconsin. Alan and Deborah, or Debbie, Tallman, purchased a bunk bed from a second-hand shop in February. They took it home and put it together and stored it in their basement. It wasn't... Well, so they'd just moved into the home... they hadn't. They'd moved into the home in April. And then this is February, but they were still, doing some painting and renovation and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they bought the bunk bed and put it in the basement to store it.
Until
and then
they use it.
Yeah, they still had some renovations and stuff to do before they were like, okay, here it is.
That makes a bit more sense. I was like, did they just buy it for their basement children? Or...
Yes. For the children in their dungeon. So it wasn't until they moved the bunk bed from their basement up into one of the bedrooms in May that the horrors began. So, as I said, they had moved into the house in April of 1986, and there were no issues in the house until the bunk bed was in use within their house, which was 13 months later. The first night that the bunk bed was slept in was the moment that 9 months of horror began, and the family were terrorized by something, and it wasn't a pregnancy.
Thank you for clarifying.
Well, that's 9 months of horror, followed by 18 years of misery.
Probably more than 18 years at this rate.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm currently sitting at 29 years of misery. Well, almost 29.
26 as of yesterday.
I meant 18 years of misery for the parents. For the baby, that's a lifetime of misery, because, the world sucks. So, the period of horror and terrorization, don't think that's a word, but it is now. Terrorism, that's the word I was looking for, but that's not a word anymore. It's terrorization. Change in the dictionary.
You do you, bestie.
I always do. It may have actually started in February when the bunk beds were brought into the house initially. I'm not entirely sure. So the actual activity didn't start until May when the bunk beds were first slept in. But I did see mention that a few days after the bed was brought into the house, the children all began to fall ill. It didn't specify how sick, but it sounds like it was severe enough for regular doctor visits. And this was flagged to the parents as unusual, as in the years prior, the children rarely got sick, and now suddenly they were making multiple trips to the doctor per week, and at times all three would be ill.
And being in America, that would be expensive AF, dude.
Yes. So that's likely when it actually began, in my opinion, but as I said, the reported activity didn't start until a few months later when the beds were moved into the girls' bedroom and first slept in.
Okay.
So I don't recall if I mentioned... They had 3 children, 1 boy and 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
The children aren't named. Yeah. So I just refer to them as boy child and girl child.
Girl child 1 and 2?
Yeah. Or just one of the girls.
Okay.
So, yeah, that first night... So, yeah, the bunk beds were moved into the girls' bedroom for them to sleep in. And the first night that it was there, their son was asleep in the next room.
Okay.
And he said that night, his clock radio took on a life of its own after his parents said goodnight. It turned itself on and started to switch between channels of its own accord. Reportedly, he could see the Vindicator moving by itself. I'm assuming the Vindicator is that little...
Tuny button?
The, line that moves through, those old-style radios, how it shows the AM/FM numbers, and it has that line that moves back and forward.
Dial.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that line is the Vindicator. I'm not sure. Anyway, he told his parents about this, and they did not believe him. They just chalked it up to his imagination or the radio malfunctioning. A few weeks later, Alan was painting the I don't know how to speak. And I'm sober. This is great. Love this for me.
You're doing great, sweetie.
A few weeks later, Alan was painting the basement. I'm not sure what colour. They didn't give me the important information. When he stopped to take a break. He placed the paintbrush on the table, which...
That's
weird. Yes. And went upstairs for some lunch. They also didn't tell me what he had for lunch. So they're not giving any important information.
Useless article.
Literally. Well, it was actually an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. And, you would think that Unsolved Mysteries would give me the important deets.
Important detail.
What was on his sanga? What did he have for lunch?
Was it a cold meat sanga? Was it a meat-free sanga?
Was it a toasty? A toasted sanga?
have?
Anyway... He went upstairs, he had some unknown sanga for lunch, and when he returned...
It wasn't Vegemite, though.
Probably not. Maybe it may not have even been a sanga. It may have been like some snags on bread.
Considering he's American, I don't think it would be anything that we would have for lunch.
They have sausages over there. They just don't go to Bunnings to get them.
Sizzles.
They just don't go to Bunnings to get them. They can still make them at home though. Okay. He probably had like, I don't know, a gun sandwich or something then. Is that what they have in America? Maybe with a nice big cup of expensive healthcare.
Jesus.
When he returned, he found the brush in the paint can, handle first with the bristles pointing out. Now, he knew that he hadn't left it like this, but didn't think much of it or say anything to anyone about it. My question is, how does he know it didn't just, like, fall off the table?
Yeah.
Because, and also...
Like, did he put it on the edge of the table, where...
It doesn't say. It literally just said he put it on the table. So I'm like, okay, is the table far away from the paint can? Did you put it on the table? Did you put it on the table with the bristles hanging out from the table? In which case, if it fell off the table, would it have fallen bristles first? That I would be like, oh, that's why he's confused by it. I don't know. Maybe it's a case of gravity. Gravity is a thing. It exists. So after a few weeks of sleeping in the bed, their 2-year-old daughter told Debbie of the woman that would visit her room during the night. She said... Yeah, it's not great. She said she had red eyes, like a rabbit that you can't have in Queensland unless you're a magician, and would start a fire in the room. But, yep, not like a rabbit. They don't do that. I don't think. I don't know.
That you know of.
I would know if I could keep one as a pet. But she and the fire would disappear shortly after. Debbie thought this to be nothing more than just imagination or dreams, but did say that she sounded like a witch. Yeah, these parents are just great. Just, kid tells them a story. Yeah, you're just making shit up.
Oh, it's probably just a dream. They do realize that your brain physically cannot create faces.
Yeah.
You had to have seen it somewhere.
You had to have seen a woman with red eyes at some point in your life.
Also, how is a 2-year-old coming up with woman with red eyes?
Literally. And Debbie just goes, oh, she sounds like a witch, but it's probably just a dream. Okay, Debbie. If you say so.
Rushing the game, Debs.
So, she didn't think much of this until a short time later when her son screamed in the middle of the night, claiming to have seen a woman with red eyes in his room, glowing like she was surrounded by fire or on fire.
Wow.
Something
runs deep in that family. Doesn't care until the boys.
Well, yeah, that's how it should be. Something he was completely unaware of his sister having also seen. So now she's like, oh, the boy saw it, has to be true.
Of course.
Yeah.
He has a penis. He must be telling the truth.
That's how it works. They only allow us to tell the truth.
If you have a penis, I'm automatically less trusting of you.
I feel like if you're a human, I'm just automatically not trusting of you at all. But that could also just be anxiety and how much true crime I absorb. So they called their pastor,
Pasta,
please!
Pasta, help
They called their pastor. Ravioli, come help us! Fettuccine spaghetti!
Senor Spaghetti, help me!
I'm so glad that my Italian boyfriend doesn't listen to this.
Oh my god. Fuck, I forgot about that.
They called their pastor. I'm sticking with it.
Senor Spaghetti. Some weird shit is happening in our house. Senor Spaghetti, please do a seance and get the bad thing out of our house. Use your spaghetti!
There's nothing a good pasta can't fix, though.
Oh, fucking love pasta so much.
So good. Did I tell you? Okay, so on Wednesday, I was going to Mateo's and we had agreed that he was making risotto for dinner. And I got a text from him that just said, "Hey, I've forgotten an ingredient for dinner. Can you stop and get it, please?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. What is it?" Thinking it's going to be an easy to forget ingredient, like he forgot a herb or he didn't realize he was out of salt.
Like,
he's just like, "Oh, it turns out you can't make risotto without rice." And I'm like, "Boy, were you...
Did he forget, like, rice or something?
Yeah, I'm like, "Boy, were we just going to have broth for dinner?"
Oh my god.
It is literally just rice boiled in broth.
Yeah, like, that's the main ingredient.
It's
you can't have...
hot. It is
like
hot, wet rice.
The rice is the Riz.
It is hot, wet rice. Anyway, the risotto was really good. I just couldn't get over the fact that Homeboy forgot the sole key ingredient of risotto.
I like how casually he asked you that. He's like, "Oh, I forgot something for the risotto tonight." And you're like, "Yeah, what?" And he's like, "Rice."
Literally. I'm like... Anyway, so they called their pastor and had him come to the house as something didn't seem right. And he said he could immediately feel an evil presence in the home. It was probably the men. It was all the tall men. Yeah, he believed this evil presence to be the work of the devil.
Ooh.
And he encouraged the Tallmans to attend church regularly to try and combat the spirits and negate the evil energy in the house. But this only seemed to make them angrier and worsen things. They began to hear voices throughout their home. Doors would bang open and shut at all hours, and the flaming witch continued to visit the children with increasing frequency. Also, low-key love the name Flaming Witch. I would not hate that as a nickname. Like, that is a moniker I will happily take on.
Yeah, flaming witch.
So, a week before Christmas, which is 7 months after the first incident with the son's radio, he screamed again in horror, claiming to have seen another vision that terrified him so much that he told his mother he wanted to leave the house. They didn't tell me what this vision was, which is pretty fucking rude.
Fucking lame.
He just was like, "I want to leave. No, thank you. Get me out of here."
Just didn't want to give us, like, any more information on it.
Are you ready to hear just the most man thing ever? At this point, Alan lost all chill and exploded in anger. He started yelling out to the presence to leave his children alone, and that if they wanted to fight someone, then so be it. Fight him. I am just picturing those dudes that get all macho and defensive and are just like, "Oh, you want to go, mate? You want to go? Right,
No,
let's take this outside." Also, like my macho man voice.
Is what?
How well did I just pull off a macho man, though? "Oh, you want to go?"
Wanna fucking stop me, mate?
So, yeah, I'm just picturing him standing there in the house being like, "Oh, fucking let's go, mate. Right, let's take this outside." But, like,
it's a fucking
to
spirit.
thin air? So, like, what I am doing right now to my computer? To thin air, just instead of another person? And I mean, it's funny enough when you watch these macho dudes do that in public settings as it is. It's even funnier to picture someone doing it to an empty room. Naturally, there was no response from the house.
What? That's crazy. I thought there would be.
Right? I thought the house was going to be like, "Let's go, mate. Outside right now, you're me. It's on." And then you hear all of the other people, "Fight! There's fight outside!" I'm just sitting there with my beer like, I don't care. I was having a conversation. The less of you that are in here, the better. So, 3 weeks later, Alan was returning home from work at about 2 a.m. when he heard an eerie howling sound outside their garage. I'm assuming that they mean howling like wind, not like a wolf. Like, I don't think there was a dog out there doing a woo. It was probably the wind being like...
Thank you for the demonstration.
You're welcome. So he heard this sound and went to investigate, and he heard a voice say, "Come here." He followed the voice around the back because apparently Homeboy has never seen a horror movie, or maybe he has a death wish. Okay. Only to find...
Bit of column B.
Probably both. It was the 80s. Only to find nothing there. He turned and headed back to the garage, only to see it engulfed in flames.
Oh, what?
So he ran into the house to grab a fire extinguisher, but when he returned to the garage, the fire was gone, as was any trace of it. So not only was there no fire, there was no smoke, there was no smell, no ash. The garage was completely untouched. He went back inside, and so when he went in to get the fire extinguisher, he had put like his little lunch pail down in the doorway, gone, grabbed his fire extinguisher, ran back outside and was like, "Wait, what? Where'd it go?"
Well, I think it's all on fire like 2 minutes ago.
What? So he went back inside and he reached for his lunch pail, and this time, as he reached for it, it was just yeeted across the room by an unseen force. Like
no.
Nope.
No.
So something wanted to make its presence known to him, and they were pretty aggressive about it.
Maybe because he tried to put them out.
Well, he told them to fight him. They were like, "Meet me outside." They met him outside.
I feel like that's just what happens when you do what a man tells you to do.
Don't listen to men. Says the
Hot
man
take.
about to keep talking to you and expecting you to listen to him. Listen to me, but don't listen to other men. So anyway, after this, he was like, okay, shit is for real up in my house. Like, what the fuck? So he started sleeping in his daughter's bedroom to try and protect them. Like, he slept on the floor while they were in the bunk beds. And one night, a fog appeared around him, and he heard a voice within the fog say, "You're dead." So the whole family are full of fear. I feel like that would be scary. You're basic. The children aren't yours.
Your wife is cheating on you. So it was really scary and said, "You're dead."
Yeah, so it's like, "You're dead," which is less scary than any of the things that we just said. And the whole family are full... Oh, no, even scarier. He's surrounded by fog and he just hears, "ScoMo's still Prime Minister." 4 more years of ScoMo.
I think I would cry.
I would burn the house down in an instant. You
I'm
wanted fire.
fucking out, guys.
You wanted fire. Here's fire. Anyway, so less scary than that, the ghost told him, "You're dead." Or the voice. No way to prove it was a ghost. There was just a mysterious fog and then a voice that had no body attached to it. Can't have been a ghost, though. Who knows? So, following this... So, following this, the whole family are full of fear now, and they're on edge. And Alan knows that he's on the night shift, so he's going to be home really late. But obviously he doesn't want to leave his family to fend for themselves. So, he asks a relative to come and babysit. To take his place in the girl's bedroom for the night and sleep on the floor until he gets home. And this family, who is a complete and total skeptic and doesn't buy into the whole story at all, is like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. Sure.
Alright.
I got nothing better going on. Well, I should probably say was a skeptic, because prior to this night, they were. Not no more.
What happened?
He actually also witnessed the witch with glowing red eyes engulfed in fire, and he let out a scream. And this was Debbie's breaking point. And she told him...
I was going to scream, and I didn't want to scare you, so I just did it silently.
She told him to grab the children and that they were leaving the house forever.
Fair.
So they believed that the bunk bed was the source of their ordeal. It was not ideal. It was an ordeal.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see what's ideal about this whole situation, but sure, Jeramie.
So yeah, they believed the bunk bed was the source of their ordeal, as there had been no issues prior to it entering their house. And they'd lived there for like nearly a year at this point. Well, they'd lived there for 13 months before everything started happening. So over a year. So 2 weeks later, they had it destroyed once and for all.
We made the house for a second?
No.
I was like, dude, that's an expensive decision.
The bunk bed. The house was put up for sale in February, and a new family moved into the home in April, and did not experience any activity, nor did the Tallmans experience any other activity in their new home. So, the home had no prior history of hauntings, and the pastor that visited them during the activity was certain...
spaghetti!
was certain a demonic presence was the cause, and found no evidence of the family fabricating events. So, obviously, one could argue that this may have been a hoax for attention or fortune, and given that I just tonight went on my big spiel about the Warrens and the DeFeos, and that I believe that that does happen, I do feel that there is a lot of evidence to actually refute that theory in regards to this family's behavior after the fact. So, naturally, their sudden fleeing of the house drew a lot of attention and rumors within the community, because it was only a small town, and the press. And this appears to have been completely unwanted by the family, and something they actively avoided instead of seeking out. So with the DeFeos, they were doing all of, like, the press interviews, and they've done the book deals and shared their story and everything. These guys literally were like, no, we just want to continue living our lives, please.
Like, please fuck off, this is not...
I really hope that I'm talking about the right family, because there's two families connected to the Amityville house, and I know that the DeFeos are one of them. I just can't remember...
Laugh if you've been shitting on the wrong family.
The Lutzes. The DeFeos are the family that were murdered in the house before the Lutzes moved in. It's the Lutz family.
That douchebags.
Yeah, it's the Lutz family that I don't
so
believe.
Shitting on the wrong family for the first hour.
Oopsie!
No,
my
2
bad.
hours.
Well, no, we haven't been talking about my case for the whole 2 hours. Calm down.
Okay. So you've just been shitting on this poor family that got murdered for the last hour.
Whoops. The DeFeos, I do believe your story because there's the bodies to prove it. The Lutzes, I don't believe your story. There we go. I do believe the Tallmans story. And so, yes, this case was featured in an episode of Unsolved Mysteries in October 1988, which, as I said, is where a lot of my information came from. From what I found, anything that I saw on the internet that did reference them actually referred to it as being, like, the scariest case showed on Unsolved Mysteries. I'm like, it's not really that scary, but yeah, sure. It's interesting. But they actually agreed to do this on very specific conditions that the Debbie and Alan put in place. So the Tallmans only agreed to share their story on Unsolved Mysteries if their faces were censored during all interviews, all reenactments of events were performed by actors and not the family themselves, like it normally is, and that their children's identities be protected by aliases and pseudonyms. So I don't even know if Tallman is actually their last name or not, because they specifically were like, yes, we will share this story. We need it. It should be out there, but no, do not attach us to it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
They also actually turned down a lucrative tabloid offer about their experience as they didn't see it fit to make money from the misfortune and horror that their children endured.
Aww.
So they had the opportunity to make a lot of money off of this, and they opted not to. So I'm sorry, but none of that, to me, really screams hoax for the sake of money and attention.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
The opposite.
Literally. It is just, this thing happened to us, just let us live our lives. Unfortunately, in this instance, it truly is speculation station, as I don't have any theories to put forward other than that I think that they were truly being terrorized by some evil force or entity that, for some reason, was attached to or linked to that bunk bed. I did see one
that a bunk bed was the thing that
Yeah. I did see one person put forward the theory of being like, well, maybe there was black mold on that bed, like they bought it secondhand. That could explain why the children got sick, but like none of the symptoms that they had matched with black mold poisoning.
But does black
mold like it can cause
hallucinations?
It can cause hallucinations, but it wouldn't have caused like the same hallucination within each member of the family, and so and they would have continued. I'm pretty sure that there would have been like lingering symptoms after the bed was destroyed if it was as simple as like black mold poisoning. Like that's not something that is just that you're better from because you got rid of the black mold.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but also, is this? I've just googled Tallman House Unsolved Mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
This picture that looks kind of like the bed was made out of pallets. Is that the actual bunk bed?
I think so. That's the one that was shown on Unsolved Mysteries, but I'm not sure because the actual one was destroyed.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But, because if it is, like, I feel like mold, like, especially black mold, would be super easy to see on that. When you're putting your kids to bed.
Yeah, you would think. Like, especially if it is enough to, like, affect them that severely?
I just read that, apparently the house activity was described in greater extent in the book Haunted America by Michael Norman and Beth Scott, but at no time in their research do they link the hauntings to a bunk bed. The activity is instead linked to the property as being located on or near former Native American burial grounds. But if that's the case, why did the next family not have any issues? And why did the Tallman family not have any issues before they got the bunk bed?
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Literally, though.
But yeah, so that is my mystery for the week. Something a little different, something spoopy, something to haunt your sleep at night, especially if you're going to sleep in a bunk bed.
Made out of wood that is secondhand.
Yeah.
I think the bunk bed I had growing up was made out of metal.
Mine too.
It was
Mine
red.
too.
I put stickers all over it.
Cute. Mine was black, I'm pretty sure, from memory.
Mine was like bright red.
But yeah, so I did have a lot of fun finding something that wasn't like just the normal mysteries that I go with of like a missing person or an unsolved crime. This was something that I literally have no answers for.
No, it was cool. I liked the supernatural element to it.
So, yeah, I had a lot of fun looking into that one, and I'm interested to look into a bunch of other interesting, different, random things, but I am open to suggestions. So, if anyone out there has any for me, or for Kirstyn, I guess,
you might want to talk to me as well.
in case she one day runs out of Australians and/or women to talk about.
Probably not, though.
How can they get in contact with us to do so, Kirstyn?
So, if you would like to send us an electronic mail...
Digital letter.
Oh my god, it's literally called email. The E stands for electronic.
Which makes it a digital letter.
Anyway, you can contact us at rfimhpodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to stalk us on Instagram or Twitter, you can find us at rfimhpodcast. And we also now have a Facebook page, which is just Rent-Free in My Head. And the... what's that thing you called? The WW?
The URL.
There you go. What does URL stand for? I like how
Let's
both of us
find out.
immediately like Universal Rigget Line.
Okay.
Are you gonna tell me what
An
that
Earl.
means? An
Oh,
Earl.
is that... were you actually reading... Were you not actually reading
Oh my
it?
god! No!
Uniform Resource Locators.
Oh.
You looked like you were reading off your screen, and you said it with such confidence that I was like, oh, she's reading it. Okay. And so I put my phone down and stopped Googling. But then, yeah, it's Uniform Resource Locators.
Uniform Resource Locators.
Just as
Well.
buildings and houses have a street address, web pages also have unique addresses to help people locate them. On the internet, these addresses are called URLs, Uniform Resource Locators.
Okay, well, if you want our uniform resource locator, it is www.facebook.com/RFIMH podcast. Ka-chow, bitches.
Ka-chow!
Ka-chow!
If you want to take the stalking even further, you can find my personal Instagram at Jeramie Gage, and you can find Kirstyn's
At Sir Kirsty Lee.
So, reach out, let us know your thoughts, just say hello, whatever you want.
We're pretty.
We're on... Oh, definitely tell us we're pretty. We're on board with that.
But yeah, we hope that you have enjoyed us just, moving away all of the important shit you probably do need to think about / remember, and just putting in little stories about vagina poisoning, evil bunk beds,
What water tastes
spaghetti,
like.
fettuccine. I really want pasta now.
The logistics of owning a rabbit as a pet in Queensland. Wow, we've
Yeah.
covered a lot of important, interesting
have.
topics this week.
We also taught you a new thing, so I feel like we're doing really well. So,
Yeah.
I think the space that we're taking up in your head has been very informative this week.
So we shouldn't have to pay rent.
No, of course, we can just squat.
Yeah. One could even say
Rent-free,
we could
guys.
live rent-free in their
Rent-free.
head. Yeah.
In your head. But thanks,
If-
gang friends.
If you want more of what is apparently now an educational podcast, come back next Wednesday where we will hit you up with some more edutainment.
My god. I was going to say you could have said education station.
Oh my god, that's even better.
We are at education station, gang.
We got devastation station, we got speculation station, and now we got education station.
Education station.
We got all the
God.
stations.
Come on a train ride with us, guys.
All aboard, but not today. Come back next Wednesday. You're a week early for the train, guys.
Or if you are catching up on episodes, just like press skip and listen to the next episode. Does that work?
I thought you mean in future, not people like.
I mean in the future, like there's future humans that are randomly going to stumble across us and be like, "Fuck these Australian crackheads. They go all right, mate. They go all right." We do. Thank you.
You're welcome. On that
You're
note,
welcome.
I am leaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a nap.
It's 9:20 at night. That's not taking a nap. That's straight up going to sleep.
No, because I could wake up in like an hour or two and watch a movie or something.
Well, I have an hour before my bedtime because tomorrow is Monday. So I'm going to go play some video games.
That's fair. I'm gonna eat.
Anyway, I'm going to put this conversation to bed. Maybe a bunk bed.